On the 20th of May, which was a couple of days ago, if you're watching this video on the date it was released, was World Bee Day. Not Beekeepers Day, but Bee Day. So, although a little late, congratulations to all the bees watching our channel. On this occasion, let's make some delicious honey cocktails. First of all, we need to make honey syrup, because syrup is much easier to mix with other ingredients than pure honey, and it is very simple to prepare. In a ladle, add 2 parts of honey and 1 part of water by weight. Stir until everything is combined, and that's it, your own honey syrup. I then added some honey with a more intense flavor to my honey, either buckwheat or something else, to make the syrup really good. And indeed, it got really good. Some people in the comments claim that honey should not be heated because high temperatures produce toxic substances. There's no research that supports it, hence it's just a superstition. And as Edmund Burke said, superstition is the religion of feeble minds. Hit like and let's move on to cocktails. Let's start with the Prohibition classic, the bee's knees. The phrase bee's knees was popular slang for something excellent or outstanding. The drink, credited to Frank Meyer, an Austrian-born bartender at the Hotel Ritz, Paris in the 1920s, is a twist on the classic gin sour, with gin, lemon and sugar, using honey instead of sugar for a richer flavor. This substitution may have helped mask the taste of poor quality gin, common during that era. Alcohol has grown a lot since then in quality, and masking it is usually not necessary, but nevertheless, be aware that honey gives you that option. The cocktail is shaken, and to the shaker we're gonna add gin. Basic London dry gin will work fine here. 2 ounces, 60 ml. Freshly squeezed lemon juice, 3/4 ounce, 22 ml. Our homemade fresh honey syrup, half an ounce, 15 ml. Fill the shaker with ice and shake it vigorously, dedicating the shake to this comment. Fine strain to the cocktail glass and garnish with a lemon peel. A perfect cocktail. It's practically a gin sour, but honey adds a lot to it. It's not just a gin sour with a little bit something, but because this cocktail consists of only 3 ingredients, changing one of them changes it in an unexpected way. It's much better than a regular gin sour. Cheers. Before we continue, I'd like to thank you all for watching my videos and commenting. This means a lot. If you want to see videos about something specific, let me know in the comments. Also, if you want to support my channel, join the Patreon or become a YouTube member. All the links are in the description to this video, as well as the text recipes of cocktails I make. Спасибо! Another classic honey cocktail is the Brown Derby. According to legendary bartender Dale DeGroff, it was created in the 1930s at the Vendome Club in Los Angeles and named after a nearby head-shaped diner. However, the exact origins of this cocktail are somewhat unclear. The Brown Derby also appeared as the de rigueur cocktail in Harry Craddock's 1930 The Savoy Cocktail book, but the name Brown Derby eventually prevailed for this sweet, tart, refreshing cocktail. Most likely, its father was a cocktail called simply Derby with gin, but today it is almost forgotten, but the Brown Derby is more alive than ever. This cocktail is also shaken, and to the shaker we're gonna add bourbon, 2 ounces, 60 ml. Freshly squeezed grapefruit juice, 1 ounce, 30 ml. And honey syrup, half an ounce, 15 ml. Fill the shaker with ice and shake it vigorously, dedicating the shake to this comment. And fine strain to the martini glass. And garnish with a grapefruit peel. Completely different cocktail. Yes, you can taste honey, but bourbon gives it a push in the other direction than gin. It's not as sour because of it doesn't have any lemon or lime juice, but the grapefruit juice adds enough acidity. All in all, it's a balanced cocktail. I respect it, but the first one I like better. This one is like 8 out of 10, and the first one is 9.5 out of 10. Honeyed Coffee Gin and Tonic. Incorporating coffee with the classic gin and tonic, this recipe pairs well with the various types of coffee and gin. The botanicals in specific gins can accentuate different notes in various coffees or roasts, says the author Julia Momose. Let's put that to the test. The cocktail is built directly in a highball glass, or in my case, it's like a can glass, to which we're gonna add gin. I'm using gin infused with wild poppy seeds. It's an unusual gin, but you can use London Dry. 1 ounce, 30 ml. Honey syrup, half an ounce, 15 milliliters. Cold brew coffee, or in my case, the coffee made with a funnel, just strong coffee. 1.5 ounce, 45 ml. Fill the glass with ice. Stir to mix everything up. Add a little ice if needed, and top up with tonic water. About 2 parts tonic to 1 part everything else. Garnish with a lemon peel. Pretty unusual combination, but it's somehow it feels right. Coffee is bitter, tonic is bitter, gin is a little bit bitter. I think it's a great combo, but I don't taste much gin. Nevertheless, it's a nice version of gin and tonic. By the way, I have made an entire video about different gin and tonics. Check it out. Speaking of coffee, an interesting take on the classic combination of milk and honey, a cocktail called Oat Milk and Honey, but with additional flavors, by Nick Brown from the Spaniard, New York City. This cocktail is shaken, and to the shaker we're gonna add either bourbon or, in my case, Irish whiskey matured in a bourbon cask, 45 ml, 1.5 ounce, creme de cacao liqueur, half an ounce, 15 ml. Once again, cold brew or just strong coffee, 2 ounces, 60 ml. Oat milk, which is technically not milk because oats don't have titties, 1 ounce, 30 ml. Our homemade honey syrup, half an ounce, 15 ml. And saline solution, it is optional but recommended, about 2 drops. You can make it by mixing 20 grams of salt to 80 milliliters of water. Fill the shaker with ice and shake it vigorously, dedicating the shake to this comment. Fill the highball glass with ice and fine strain the cocktail. Pretty great. I don't know if you added regular milk, cow milk, beef milk. Maybe it would be the same, I don't know. But as it is, it's pretty great. A little bit like coffee milkshake. I like it. I don't know what to say. It's just great. All the cocktails I tried today are great. I don't have any words. Sorry. Eau de Lavender. I know nothing about this cocktail, when it was invented, who invented this cocktail. If you do, please tell me in the comments. I just wanted to make it. By this point, you can feel stories getting shorter and shorter with each successive cocktail in this video. Nevertheless, the cocktail is shaken, and to the shaker we're gonna add tequila, regular blanco, 1.5 ounce, 45 ml. Freshly squeezed lemon juice, 22 milliliters, 3/4 ounce. The original recipe says we need to add 3/4 ounce of honey syrup and scrappy lavender bitters, 1 dash. I don't have lavender bitters, but I have lavender syrup. So half an ounce of honey syrup, 15 ml, and lavender syrup, 1/3 ounce, 10 milliliters. Orange bitters instead of lavender bitters, 1 dash, and an egg white. If you're afraid of egg whites or a vegan, you can use something like bubble drops or something else, aquafaba, but just don't be afraid of egg whites. Instead of dry shaking, you can beat it with a milk frother. But in reality, you can just shake it with ice. And that's exactly what we're gonna do. Dedicating the shake to this comment. Fine strain the cocktail. And garnish with a lavender sprig or a sprig of lilac I picked near my house. It's a completely different cocktail from everything I made today. The lavender taste is prominent, but it's not overpowering. I was afraid of that. It's sweet. Maybe I could use just like 5 milliliters less of syrup, but it's okay this way too. Cocktail is in perfect balance. I don't know about tequila because it's lost in there with all the acidity and sweetness, but all in all, it's a balanced cocktail. You can make it with vodka. I guess that's enough honey for one day. I could also make penicillin, which consists of blended Scotch whiskey, lemon juice, honey syrup, and a little bit of smoky Islay Scotch. But I don't have the latter, and I am really not a fan of Islay whiskey. It tastes like felt-tip pens to me. Yes, I used to chew them in my youth, but that hasn't affected me in any way. Tell me which cocktails with honey syrup do you prefer? The other cocktail recipes and DIYs, check out the corresponding playlists. Drink responsibly, and as always, до свидос.